Hey Gemini, how are you? Welcome to your January 2020 love reading. Okay, first of all, obviously, Happy New Year. Hope that you've made lots of positive and transformative and inspiring New Year's resolutions. And you've got lots of bright and amazing plans. Either way, I hope you have a plan because Jupiter is in Capricorn this year, so it's going to be all about, it's definitely going to favor, luck is going to favor, fortune is going to favor those who have a plan because Capricorn is all about planning, structure, and responsibility. So that's where there'll be growth for everybody. But again, whichever house placement Capricorn is in, I believe with Gemini, let's see, Capricorn would be, I think, in your 8th house. Yeah, Capricorn would be in your 8th house. So your 8th house is other people's money, taboo situations or philosophies or ideas that you have or that you're involved in. Taboo things that you're involved in, spirituality, psychic ability, ancestry as well, family that goes way back, inheritance. So there may be, but then I mean, ultimately, it talks about taxes and death as well. It is the house of Scorpio, secrets, the occult. So there may be more structure to maybe your spiritual kind of evolution or growth as well. But definitely sex will be a big theme. Maybe you'll be making more structured, you'll have more kind of structured ideas around sex, if that makes sense to anyone. So it could be that you're being more practical maybe when it comes to sex. Maybe you feel, especially with Capricorn ruling that sign, that there's a lot of maybe restriction in that area, or that you might feel like making connections with people is really hard work, but it's also very transformative. I think you're really having some very meaningful, most likely, and spiritual connections with people as well. Definitely a soulmate kind of person could come in, could be your husband even, with Jupiter in the 8th, someone that you can maybe build something long lasting or at least very deep um, with them, with it being in your 8th house. But yeah, there'll be a lot of luck probably when it comes to other people's money and this type of growth and sexuality. And you could also maybe even find with Jupiter being in Capricorn that there could be a bit more leeway. There could be just more opportunities. Things may just go a bit more smoother. You may get more opportunities, to enjoy other people more deeply, whether that be through money, sex, spirituality, like a spiritual connection or a bond. But it will be deeply transformative. So yeah, it's going to be a good year. So yeah, that being said, looking at your cards just for January as you come into the year, I can see here that there could be an issue with maybe with someone who is just not taking a lot of action when it comes to the relationship. So someone that's maybe holding back. It could also be that this person's trying to do the right thing by holding back, or they could be too proud to come forward as well with the 7 of Wands here. They seem to have come to a new awareness as well, come to a decision. They've got clarity. They may be seeking clarity at the moment. They may want to discuss things with you. There could have been a lot of conversations leading up to this point. However, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think there is clarity. There is a certain amount of clarity that I think has been had or will be gained this month between the both of you. And yeah, I think your partner will be looking at things from a very different perspective. So this could result in them sticking this out, not giving up on the relationship. They could become very clear on the fact that you are the one that they want to be with the 7 of Wands. And they may become very clear on maybe if they have been seeing other people, that you are, number one. And in fact, with the Knight of Discs here, or in other decks, the King of Discs, may not only be deciding that you are number one, but that they want to be with you and only you. They want to, get rid of all the others, and really not just put the others in the second spot, but really just kick them out of the equation altogether. The Lust card, again, does kind of confirm that kind of story, because the Lust card in traditional decks usually means that it's someone trying to do the right thing. It's someone not acting off impulse. It's someone who's thinking about what they're doing before they do it, trying to have virtue in their actions, even though they may be a very passionate person or may want something very bad. They're not going to just run after it and go and get it. They're going to kind of tame or temper their lust for whatever it is that they want. So yeah, I think that could be the case for a lot of you, where this person does actually come to a realization that you are who they want, that you are the one they see a future with, and that they would like to lay down roots with. So the Knight of Discs in this deck is a knight. He's not a king. So if we're going to interpret it that way, then again, this is someone who either is being very stubborn. So this could be stubbornness. This could be someone holding back. Okay. But it could also be someone sticking to the relationship as well. So maybe you need a personal reading to actually clarify exactly what one it is or what group you fall into. But yeah, definitely with the Knight of Discs, it is showing that they are holding on to the relationship. Okay, this could be someone that's holding on to the relationship, like I said, not wanting to give up, seeing a long-term future, willing to sacrifice the pleasure. They're willing to delay pleasure. Basically, the Knight of Discs is not the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is like, let's just go and party and have a good time right now. Live. All we have is now. We should be inspired by that. It's very inspired kind of energy. Whereas the Knight of Discs is a lot more practical and appreciates things that are acquired over time. And they like to nurture things and feed into it and really craft and create and mold something, and the beauty in taking the time to make something perfect. The Knight of Discs enjoys that process, the unfoldment of things rather than rushing. Okay, so I do see definitely a kind of holding back, whether that be holding back from you but still really wanting you, still very much lusting after you, or it could be that they just are kind of growing up a bit, I guess, in a way, emotionally, or at least becoming more mature in their outlook for this relationship, like having a more mature outlook, having a more long-term vision for the future between you and them. There is a strong attraction. I feel this person does also have a lot of pride, potentially as well, with the Seven of Wands. So, it could be that mind games maybe come to an end in some way as well. Maybe pride was involved, but it could have been something that you said, with the Ace of Wands here, that really made this person realize maybe how they were kind of shooting themselves in the foot, or how they were actually maybe embarrassing themselves, or how they were letting themselves down, or how they weren't putting themselves first by maybe spreading themselves so thin, if that was the case, where they had others. But this could also not be about other people. It could just be, the Seven of Wands could just be that they are sticking this out. They're stubbornly deciding on what they want and sticking to it, and not allowing any sort of attack on their decision to have an impact on their decision. They're going to fight it to the end. Again, this person could be very proud as well, or at least for this month, be coming from that kind of place of maybe even being proud of their decision as well. Again, there being virtues here. But I do see this person sticking it out, and I don't know, maybe it's them being stubborn, like I said, or it's just them stubbornly sticking to the situation and wanting it to work. I can see here you've got the 8 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, the 5 of Cups, and the Judgment card, the Aeon card. So for you, where you're coming from in January, it looks like that with the 5 of Cups, it could be that you have some sort of regret as well over the past. So this could be regret over your partner's past actions, or like, you know, still being affected by the past or some emotional disappointment in the past. Actions that were taken in haste, actions that were taken without thought, actions that were just taken. Maybe more around, you know, to do with sex. So maybe someone has stepped out of the relationship previously, been with other people, and you may have felt like this person acted impulsively, you know, and you are upset about these actions. But this could also be you. Again, these energies could intermingle. You know, it could just be lots of different messages that really apply to the both of you in different ways. But, you know, this could be vice versa. So, you know, there is some regret over the past, and this could also be the card of wanting forgiveness, or someone wanting forgiveness from you. Again, everything coming out in the open here, a clarity. Sorry about the gardening in the background. It was completely silent before I started doing this video, as you noticed, and then suddenly. But yeah, sod's law. Yeah, so clarity is here. Someone may be seeking forgiveness, a renewal of a relationship. It could be you. It could be that, you know, this energy here, this person's energy here, if it's either yours or theirs, it could go vice versa. But it looks like someone here is saying, maybe I deserve better. You know, that kind of clarity of, I'm not gonna, again, pride, I deserve better than this. This is the clarity that I've come to now, is that this is not, I'm not gonna just, no matter how attracted I am with the Lust card here, I'm not gonna just give in. Okay, so this could be related to that kind of storyline where someone is coming in asking for a renewal, and the ball's kind of in your court as to whether or not you're going to allow a renewal of the relationship. You're going to allow an open discussion, you're going to allow honesty, forgiveness, maybe even compassion, you know, acceptance of the past, and you know, ushering in a new beginning. I think this person may want a new beginning. You know, there's definitely, I think, a want for something new here with the Ace. But again, the Ace of Swords to me does talk about sometimes a bitter truth. And, you know, the truth sometimes can hurt. So, you know, it may be that there are some harsh truths that are having to be dealt with in January. And it's about, you know, as much as we love and appreciate how valuable the truth is, sometimes it can actually be quite a harsh reality, you know. So there's definitely an awakening of, or an awareness of things that change things forever, but also give an opportunity for a brand new start. Okay, they give an opportunity for you to really look at things and say, okay, so what do I want to do? Okay, now I know everything, now I see things clearly. What do I want to do? I do see the 8 of Swords here, where you're kind of maybe still at the end of the month thinking, I really don't know what I want to do. my mind's in a bit of a muddle about this. You may just feel like you can't win or lose. You may feel like it's a lose-lose situation. Even you may feel that way. But the Eight of Wands here is telling me that you do need to counteract that. Okay, the Eight of Wands is saying, "Gosh, it's so loud." I suppose they just have a good old time on these like machine things. It's like a toy for these guys, I think. But sorry, having way too much fun. But anyway, the Eight of Wands, as I was saying, is about, but it's about kind of having an open mind, being optimistic. Again, with the rays of light here, it's letting us know that sometimes we only see with our, we can only see a certain amount of a situation sometimes, and not to be discouraged by what you see. Okay, not to be discouraged by your limited thinking as well, or your limited perspective, to be more precise. The Eight of Wands asks you to consider other things that maybe you haven't thought about. So basically, to be optimistic about the situation, no matter how the cards fall, or no matter how things may seem, to remain optimistic. I feel that like there will be communication here with the Princess of Cups. There will be loving communication. This person could come in and say, you know what? I see now the error of my ways. I feel this person probably has been dealt quite a tough lesson in a sense. And maybe they're like, can we please talk about this? They may be saying lots of sweet things to you as well. I think that they still see that there is a lot of potential in the relationship, that there's still a lot of things that have been undiscovered in the relationship, and they feel like it was only just beginning in a sense, maybe, or there was more to be explored. It could be that as well. And so they kind of maybe still want to talk about things. They still want to talk about the possibilities. Again, we've got the turtle here as well, like this slow-paced energy, this I'm willing to take the longer route, I'm willing to go the extra mile even, or to take things slowly. Okay, so this person may be talking like that with you, or maybe you'll be expressing that to them, or maybe that's what Spirit is advising you to do. If you do still really feel intensely connected to this person and you feel like, yeah, I do want to give it a second chance. I do really miss them. I do feel like with the Ten of Wands here that life is just freaking boring without them, or such hard work. It's so hard. Having to kind of tough it out, and, because often I think when someone does let us down, especially if they two-time you, something like that, or they step out of the relationship, you want to punish them, I guess, in a way, or you want to, we feel like the right thing is to do, which often is the right thing to do, to kind of pull away, give them the silent treatment, put up that wall. But at the same time, we're still hurting, right? We're still hurting even though we, or it could be something else. It could be that this person just wasn't putting the work in or something like that, and you had enough maybe. And you just feel now that you want to block them out. You want to, but I do feel like you feel like the fun is gone. Like there's no more fun. It's just hard. And again, you're focused on work. So you could just say to yourself, I'm going to just focus on work, or I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on healing. and putting back into myself and investing into myself. And, you know, I can never go wrong there. You know, like what Beyonce says, me, myself, and I. I know I'll never let myself down. It's like it's always going to be a safe investment when you invest in yourself. It's always going to turn out good. When you invest in others, when you get other people opportunities or, you know, chances, there's no telling. You have no control over that. There's no telling how that will turn out. But it's always safe to invest in yourself. And I think that's kind of where you're at. But at the same time, it's dry. It's like a dry kind of feeling I feel for you with the Ten of Wands. It's like, it's just no fun. As much as it is prudent kind of work, as much as it is the good work, like it is good, it's still also kind of boring maybe, or lackluster, you know, lacks excitement. I think you really want to be with this person. You really want to work it out, and you do miss them. And you really, really wish that the actions that were taken in the past were not taken. But I still think you're holding a torch for this person, or vice versa, however, whatever story you're relating to. And there definitely is a holding back here. So there definitely is. I feel like maybe as well that you could feel like the relationship is hard work. You could feel like I've invested so much, and what have I got out of it? Like, it's still, it just feels like it was a lot of hard work, maybe for nothing, you could feel. But I was going to say that I do kind of see walls on both sides, but I feel like this person is pushing forward, and I don't think you're really maybe allowing this person in. So that's how you could feel at the moment. That's how things could be. And I think you're thinking about, can I give this person a second chance? So, I mean, Spirit's advice or, yeah, guidance here in the top row. Got the King or Knight of Swords in this deck, but King of Swords in all other decks. So this is you, Gemini. And then we've got the Empress card, which again, to me, I'm feeling like there's an understanding that maybe needs to be gained, that you know, things do take work. I think you're deciding as to whether or not it's worth continuing to work on. The Empress says, yes, you know, all good things take work. There could be a lot of growth in this situation. The potential for success is quite good with the Empress card there. Communication is going to be really important, I think, with the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Wands. I'm inclined to say that, you know, there may be some of you that really rush in to try to maybe want to communicate with this person, or this person may do that with you. Really kind of rush in and again try to have this talk, work out a strategy, a way forward. Yeah, there definitely is someone who's pushing forward and someone who's pulling back, I think, here. And I feel like there's a person here, and I think it's your partner, who's just thinking, I'm not going to give up on this. I'm not going to back down. It's almost like a challenge. Like, I'm not going to be defeated, you know. I'm going to stick this out. And I think the more that this happens, the more difficult it is for them, the more that they may even value the situation. Maybe you're the one person that's kind of setting standards as well, amongst maybe other people that they're seeing, for some of you. But there will be lots of, I think there's a lot of potential here for a lot of positive communication, but it will require you to think positively about this. I can see that you're very upset about things with the Five of Cups, Ten of Wands as well. Like, you may just feel exhausted by the whole process. Everything that's happened, you could just feel quite worn out, really, by things emotionally and maybe physically. And maybe you do need a renewal, you do need this break, and you do need this healing. And that's why you're focusing on yourself. Spirit is saying, if you want this to be a success, or the way forward, the way to solving a lot of these issues would require you to, like I said, have a kind of broader perspective on the situation. So not looking at all the things you see in front of you, but thinking outside the box in a way, thinking of, because this is the color spectrum, right? So the human eye only sees a certain amount of light on the whole of the color spectrum, right? Or electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic waves or whatever, right? So the Eight of Wands is like saying there's a lots more that you're not seeing. There's lots more or other perspectives that you're not considering. And with the Knight of Swords, it's asking you to maybe come out of your feelings a little bit and try and be a bit objective and gain a new perspective. And that's again confirmed here with the Hanged Man and the Six of Swords. And I think that's the inner conflict that you're facing, is that you can't maybe quite get over what's happened. It's hard for you to forgive that. It's hard for you to let that go. Because we've got a 10 here. It's almost like the 10 of Swords or the 10 of Wands is like it was like the ultimate maybe betrayal, or ultimate, like it just really was like took it out of you. There will be clarity here. There's an opportunity here this month to reach clarity, to move forward, to figure things out with this person. Again, it will be through communication. There could be travel involved as well. You know, you may need to travel somewhere to get a new perspective with the Hanged Man here. Yeah, I feel that someone has been humbled as well. Someone knows they've done the wrong thing as well. And that also needs to be discussed. But you yourself, I feel this is also a message for you to try to gain a new perspective. Now, if it was you who maybe stepped out of the relationship, and maybe you feel you've got no control over things going forward, but you really like this person, and you know you're really regretful of things, and you would like a second chance. Maybe that's how the story's gone, and maybe that's where this stubbornness is coming from this person. Then I feel again that the potential for things to go well is good with the Empress card here. Also, with the Empress card, I would like to say that someone is definitely seen as very beautiful here. I feel that this person does see you as extremely beautiful, very attractive, and maybe even wifey material with the Empress card. So there is a lot of potential here, I think, for a lot of you that are watching, for things to really get better and for a kind of foundation in the relationship to be laid and a new start to begin, especially with the Ace of Wands here as well. But I would say that for you, those of you trying to figure things out, trying to get things moving again in this relationship, that it is about positive thinking. It may require travel, you know, maybe you need to take your partner on holiday, or but again, with the King of Swords here, or the Knight of Swords in this deck, it is about strategy, it is about talking, it is about trying to get out of your own feelings and being logical about the situation, being logical about things, taking pride, ego, and even maybe a little, you know, the pain, the disappointment out of the way, and really looking at practical steps that can be taken to make things better. Talking, open communication. You may need to be the one that initiates the conversation as well. You know, you may need to take the lead and express to this person just how passionate you are about the connection and how much you would like to kind of keep things going. But with the Eight of Swords here, definitely I think the challenge for you this month is getting over this feeling of not being able to make an impact, not knowing how to move forward, a kind of a powerlessness or a negative kind of way of thinking. It could also be kind of pathological as well with the Eight of Swords, like going at rumination, kind of stuck in a cycle of negative thinking. So that could also be a challenge for you this month, and that's why the Hanged Man is here. But I do feel like change is on the horizon. As well for you, so yeah. And yeah, with the Ace of Wands here, there is a new beginning, a new passionate beginning. So a lot of passion in the future as well with the Lust card here. And it's important that, you know, when you're having these discussions, that you do feel heard and that the other person feels heard, and that you get on the same page as to what it is that you're fighting for in this relationship. You need to get on the same page and not be at odds with each other because you both want to be right or you both feel like you're not being heard. There may also be an energy of someone needing to kind of humble themselves and allow the other person to speak, to allow the other person to explain their perspective. Okay, so there is a bit of holding back here that's needed. I don't know, maybe it's from you or your partner that's needed. But if it's your partner that's needing to do this, it's likely that this will happen. And if this is advice for you, then it's advice for you. Solutions will be found through communication and objectivity and healing. There's healing that's needed here. So, you know, you need a break. I think you will be catching a break this month. And hopefully there'll be an end to this kind of feeling that you don't know how to move forward. I don't know what to do. This month is a challenge to overcome those feelings and to actually look at solutions. The King of Swords, or the Knight of Swords in this deck, does talk about intelligence, does talk about developing your mental strength this month. Being clever, basically, using your intelligence, to find solutions to this situation, which will potentially bring in a very beautiful and abundant new beginning here. Looks like it will take some work though. Chaos and Conflict as our first oracle card. So we've got time for a nap at the base of the deck. So I'm going to take that as, it's time to take a break. It's time to heal. Okay, so you do. And again, there is this maybe for some of you as well would take time for a nap. It is important for you again to listen okay, to your partner as well. The King of Swords, probably the most intelligent kind of message, or the most wise message that the King of Swords offers is, so the wisest ideas that the King of Swords offers is that actually good communication is good listening as well, and having an open mind and separating your mind from your emotions. Okay, so it could be that you do need to also do some listening, but I also kind of see it as you need to heal. There's been a lot of hard work done on your part, and you need to maybe also allow this person to make the effort to come towards you if that's how things are between you, if it's more them that needs to make the effort because they've messed up or they've pulled away or whatever. It is about you taking a nap. I feel like maybe also you are overthinking things, or you're ruminating this month. Don't do that. Don't overthink the situation with the time for a nap. So I think you're going through some changes. There's definitely a lot of honesty and renewal happening between you both, where you're now kind of maybe showing each other your true colors. There's like an awareness with the Aeon card and the Ace of Swords. You're starting to see each other, I think, for who you really are. But with these changes, as you're becoming more honest with yourself and this person maybe becoming more honest with you, or things just become a lot more clearer. Again, I think this card is saying to you that through these changes, you need to make sure that you're healing. You need to make sure you're looking after yourself and you're paying attention to yourself. Because I can see that you're quite worn out here. Emotionally and physically, you may feel drained. Okay, so and then we've got clean it up as well, and round again, cleaning up these repetitive thoughts. Okay, also understanding that what we think about, we bring about. Again, it's another very wise message from the King of Swords, and the Empress card there as well confirms, and the Eight of Wands as well, is that all three of those together are saying what you think about, you bring about. It will manifest. So be careful what you're thinking about. Okay, you may bring about more of the same. We have to accept as well in relationships, as much as other people can let us down, that it's a two-way kind of thing. That although it's not our fault that other people act wrong, that we also have played into the whole dynamic of the situation. Okay, so I think there is also some honesty even there on your part. And that could be where the Hangman's coming in as well, in terms of it could be humbling in a way for both of you, as you work through this. Certain awarenesses you don't necessarily need to communicate, but as long as you're aware of the fact that maybe you were, I don't know, say, I don't know, maybe you were maybe very focused on work and didn't give this person a lot of attention, and that then made them think that you weren't maybe totally committed. Not saying that was the case, but that maybe that's an example. And that then led them to just feel like, there was room for others. Still wrong what they done, but it's also kind of seeing how we play into things too, Again, loving yourself through this whole process. What you're thinking about though here with the round and round card and the clean it up card, whatever mess, any doubt that you have, any negative thinking that you have and that you put into this, that's what's going to come about. And that's why the cards are saying here in the top row, be positive in your thinking. Think of best outcomes. Talk positively, talk good things into existence, and they will manifest. The Empress card is saying that will happen. And the challenge here is, you know, stopping this round and round, maybe negative thinking for your own good, not for anybody else, you know. And then we've got flexible here. I feel that your partner is actually needing to be more flexible. And they're having to show stamina. Again, so this could be them. It could go both ways. Again, if maybe you let them down, they need to learn to kind of hang on in there and be flexible. Or maybe it's just them needing to learn how to do things differently. You know, this is a bit of a learning curve for them. To be strong in other ways. That's what I'm getting. So it's like a new beginning here as well for them in terms of learning how to do things differently. And this could also be advice for you as well. Learning how to do things differently, learning how to be flexible, maybe in your thinking, maybe for them in their commitment and steadfastness to the relationship. And being willing to change, being willing to allow new ways of thinking, perceiving, acting, behaving to bring about success in a relationship. So I'm going to pull a card for you, Gemini. From the Amira's Love Oracle deck. Okay, so we've got past love. Let's pull another one, and we've got true love. We've got beauty queen. And then we've got wallflower at the base of the deck. So this could be issues of, again, just feeling like you're out of the loop. Like with the Ten of Wands here, just feeling like you're pulling yourself away from the situation, but actually it's not fun to just sit down and watch everyone else have a good time, or to pull yourself out of this relationship. Sometimes, I don't know, love is a funny thing, you know. So you might just feel that you're pulling yourself back, but are you really happy? So it could just be a process as well. Maybe with the Six of Swords, this could be you moving on. This could be a renewal of your own life. You know, again, I feel the future does look good with the Empress card here. It's just about you being positive. If you do decide to leave this person, to be positive and to get your mind right. Look at your mind. Make sure you're thinking positively, that your thoughts are not hindering you. That you're not thinking too negatively, and also self-esteem, loving yourself, pampering yourself, looking after yourself, loving yourself. It's all that self-love is going to be so important. You know, they say there's two wolves inside of you, right? You've got I know some of you probably know the whole of the story, but there's two wolves. So you've got like the wolf that's very negative within inside you, and you've got the wolf that's very positive and loving. And whatever one you feed is the one that will be most dominant in, you know, in yourself, in your life, in how you perceive things, and in all your actions. So I always think to myself, you have to starve that negative part of you. You can't feed into it. It's only going to make it stronger. It's best to just feed the positive part. You know, it's best to feed the more loving wolf. So to tell yourself that, or to feed that loving part, so to feed the positive wolf, let's say, by lots of positive affirmations, you know, feed that, the good wolf, okay? I don't know how else to put it, but feed the good wolf and starve the negative one. I feel that's what needs to be done here for you personally. The more you feed into the negative way of thinking, the more that is going to come about. And, you know, and know when you're not happy, figure things out, be honest with yourself. And then we've got past love. So I feel that there's been a lot of past situations. Again, with the Five of Cups here, it could be the fact that you're holding on to past issues that's stopping you enjoying this relationship. Maybe past people. It might not be this person. And this person could be like the Seven of Wands. Look, I'm aware. I get it. I get that you've been through some stuff, or I get that you're still holding on to some stuff, but I'm not going anywhere. It could be that as well. And it's you that maybe needs to work through these things and let go. Again, this is chaos and conflict. To me, the image, or even more so than the words in the card, but the image says to me that there is this letting go of pretending to be something that you're not, or letting go of the pain that you've covered yourself in and that you've held on to, and how that could have affected your own self-esteem and your own happiness so much. And to let go of that and to allow this new love to come in. We've got true love here. And the Empress card does talk about true unconditional love. And I feel that maybe for a lot of you, you may have found someone that's really loves you and does have unconditional love for you. Okay. And this will then, I think, again, improve your self-esteem. And you'll see yourself as this person actually probably sees you as very, very beautiful. Very, very sexually attracted to you as well. So yeah, there's a lot of messages in this reading, but hopefully for a lot of you it was helpful. So yes, that's the end of the reading. I love you all. Have a fantastic January and a fantastic year. And I'll speak to you in February. Okay, take care. Bye.